Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Yeah, then I can record this one. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. प्रार्थना कृत्वा प्रारंभं करिष्यामः। ओम अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननं महर्निशम् एकदन्तं भक्त अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तम् उपास्महे। कामिनी स्वप्रकाशिनी काश्मीरपुरवासिनी विद्यादायिनी त्वं देवी त्वत्विन्देहं सदा। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। हरिः ओम श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्तु, सर्वेभ्यः सुस्वागतम्। Spotlight. Okay, what we are going to do today, last class we just barely scratched the surface on what is happening and what Sanskrit is, etc. What I'm going to do now, and this is something, we'll do some very simple exercise. What I would suggest to everyone is just grab a piece of paper and a pen if you have. Can we? One piece of paper and a pen. I'm going to do a very simple thing. I'm going to play some sounds. Okay. And what you need to do when I'm playing these is write this sound, express this sound in the language that you know. For instance, if I say that, you will say THAT, that. This, THIS, this. Correct? Something like this. I want you to concentrate very carefully on about the sound and then put it in the language that you actually are comfortable doing. Okay? Shall we do this? Simple exercise. Let me start with, where is this? There is my... all right, let me start from here. I hope it is audible to everyone.
No, sir.
No? Nothing is audible?
No, nothing.
Nothing is audible. Okay, one.
Something like water flow sound.
Now something is audible?
No, I can't hear anything.
You can't hear?
No.
It started, but now it is completely silent.
Now it is completely silent. Is it audible now?
No, I can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything. Nothing.
Yeah, I can hear.
You can hear. Who said who?
Yeah, I can. Nisha here. I can hear.
But why is nobody else able to hear?
I can hear, sir.
You can hear, no?
I was able to hear.
Something is playing. Is that audible?
I can't hear anything, sir.
No, sir.
Nothing is audible.
Nothing is audible. I think also it's too low.
Yes, sir, I can hear. Yes, it's audible.
Yeah, okay, now I can hear a little bit. But more like not very distinguished, like how actually I can write it down.
Is this audible now?
Absolutely nothing. It's what we are talking. No extra sound. No
Oh,
noise,
exactly.
nothing.
Okay. Hold on.
Was it SHK?
Huh?
SHK? Was it like that?
SHK. No. I think you're not here. This one. Hold on.
It is very, volume is very low. I could hear it, but very, very
Yeah.
low, like barely.
Yeah.
I see. No, I think.
I can hear everything clearly. Maybe just check. I mean, your individual audio, I can hear clearly.
You can hear
My-
some noise
My-
happening.
So
I'm
mine
on-
is at highest volume, so I don't know
Yeah.
what is.
Okay.
I
Hold.
will speak.
Hold on. I think I'll just change my audio setting and see what happens. Share the screen and audio. Okay, let me try this one. Yes, I think, yeah, Fran Mahadia is saying maybe that is true. We can do that. I can try that. Yeah, let me try this and okay. Is it audible?
Sir, what you have to do is when you share a screen, at the bottom, it says you have to click on share sound at the as well. So now it's easier if you stop screen sharing, you share again, and you have to make sure that you click on sharing computer sound.
Share sound. All right. Yeah. Okay. I think you're right. That's it. Yeah. Now is it audible?
Or
Yes.
I can hear better.
Okay, fantastic. Good. Okay, just whatever I said, just make sure you are just in a language that you are comfortable with. I'm going to pause there. Let's hear something else now. Yeah, this is voice too. Yeah. Third voice. Third. Sorry. Okay. 4. Five. Next one. 6. Right. Okay. And probably this is the last. Yeah, maybe 2 more. We'll just do 2 more.
Start the game, you're joining in. One pound the game, you're joining in. Okay. All ready then, on your marks, get set. Away we go, rolling. These are going to be. He's going to be your lucky winner. Keep rolling them. 11, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Okay. And then yeah, I have one. Yeah, I can do this right switch. And yeah, we'll just stop with this one. All right. So we heard about 8 different sounds, 8 different varieties, right? Now, each of you, what did we say? We said we will just have, you will put it out in form of words, these sounds. How many of you were able to put it in the form of words? Yes.
Only
Yeah.
some of them. Only some.
I could do some.
Okay. Jayita Mahodaya, will start with you.
Oh.
Kim Kritavati, Bhavati, you tell them.
First one, sir, I could not hear. I'll start with the second one.
Okay.
Is that okay? Yeah. Second one, I could hear like a re. So I've written the re sound in Sanskrit, and I've also written ri. Mostly like that.
Okay.
Then third one was like a cow kind of chomping. So I've written chum.
Okay.
And the S sound in the middle kind of going on.
Okay.
Then next one, I could not put it in any, like I couldn't write anything for it. Then fifth one was a bird. So it was like tweet, like that. So I've just written like that.
Yeah, written twing, and twing with
Tweet,
chokara,
yeah.
yukara and all that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then next one was like a hissing sort of sounds. Then zzz, then in the middle sound was coming. So s and z mostly like that. S and Z's. Then seventh one was like somebody was talking, all right, then on your marks, get set, go, keep rolling. So it was just words.
That was very clear, huh? Okay.
That was easy.
But there was something else along with that sound. Were you able to grasp that also?
That the background sound, it was difficult to put into like a word. I've just written like what he said, not the background sound.
Okay.
Then again, next one were bird sounds with a bit of kind of in the background and tweet like that I have written.
Astu. Uttama. Okay. Now, Sushila Mahodaya, Bhavati Vadatu.
Yeah. First thing, it was a chirp, sort of a krish, krish, krish sort of a sound. First one. And then I think it was a bus going or something. So there was that sound. And then it was, I have written third one as I don't know. I don't remember for what, but 3R, something like that. And then the fourth one was that dung, 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 bell. It was bell ringing. Sound, high volume bell ringing. And the next one was a bird chirping. So it was cheep, 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 creak, creak sort of bird birds. And the next one's a humming sound, sort of sound. And then it was that okay already gets it. And then I think there was a pepper, some sort of music also good playing. And then the next one was ring, 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 ring. That sound I could hear. And then it was HR, I said, and then that's it. That is it. Last one I don't remember.
Okay, no problem. Fran Mahodaya, Bhavati Kartum Ichchati va?
Astu, but I got a mess. First, I heard something like ku, then ro. I don't know. Fourth, ta, papa. Fifth, ni. Six, I didn't get. And seventh, I got very confused because there were people speaking, so I didn't hear the background noise, but I heard like, okay, well, we go. And that's what I got.
Okay.
And then I skip one, and finally, na.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you. Nagaprabha Mahodaya.
Mahodaya, I didn't few of them. I was just listening. I could not make out.
You could not make it.
But I wrote that. Then some birds sound like ching, 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 like that. Then some men talking gets said, here we go. Like
Fantastic.
Tan, kur, like that. Then in the end, like Papa, like.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Parvati Mahodaya, Bhavati Vaktum Ichchati va?
Namo Namo Mahadaya. I'm not part of your class. I'm not registered, but I'm just listening in because I find it interesting. Is it okay?
No worries. No worries. No worries. Saumya Mahodaya.
Now I have forgotten the different sounds.
No, forgot. That's why I asked you to write it. If you remember, that's exactly the reason why I asked everyone to just make note. Okay. Okay. Anybody else who wants to just volunteer?
I'll tell Mahodaya.
Yeah. Vadatu Mahodaya.
First sound was screech, 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 screech. Second was that toot, 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 toot. Third was some whoosh, 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 woo, like that.
Okay.
And then there was this tama, 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 tun, 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 tama, 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 tun, tun, tun. And then I heard this birds. Sixth one was noisy, and the seventh one, as Fran Mahodaya said, someone was talking, so I couldn't. And the eighth one was shoo, like that. The ninth one was sh. It was not proper. Then 10th I heard ka, crick, ka, like that.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you. So what is, okay, we did some exercise now and all of you gave some answers. What is that thing that, any comments on this, what we just did? Any observation? All of you have given some answers. I have not made any notes, so I haven't given. So all of you have made some comment or have written something and said.
So maybe it's for you to just see if we can see how the sort of ambient sounds around us, whether it's natural, whether it's a man-made sound, how can we see any like identifiable sounds that we can write in terms of the swara and vyanjana we know, or even English, whatever. But like, can we translate that in terms of a sound that can be expressed as a written thing?
Okay, one observation. Parvati Mahodaya, yes, you have raised your hand. Tell me.
I feel that a lot of the words we hear it differently. We're not all hearing the same thing, except for a few. The bird sound, because maybe we hear birds. But a lot of other things, like where people said ready, steady, go, I heard din, 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 din in the beginning. Yeah. So
one very important observation that Parvati Mahodaya is making here.
We all hear differently.
We all, apart from that get, set, go, which was very clear, which everyone heard the same, everybody had a very different experience of hearing. First thing. Second thing, the way they expressed it was very different. Is that right? Somebody started with click, click, click. Somebody said no, no, ching, ching, ching. So on and so forth. Everybody had a different way of putting it up. First thing, first observation. Let's see one more. What Sushila Mahodaya has to say.
Yeah, I wanted to say that there are many number of sounds in this universe which are so different from each other that it is and people really, as you said, like to decipher it in different ways.
Right. So what is this? What is this telling us in some sense? You know, I can say ka, 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 somebody will say kra, 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 somebody will say kaw, kaw, kaw. But all of us, we know we are referring to some crow. Right. But if somebody is asked to really communicate with a crow in its own language, the way it is doing, how many of us will be able to do it?
The last student, she did a good job.
Sorry?
The last person who answered did a very good job.
Gauri Mahodaya did a good job. Yeah, she probably. Okay, everyone agrees to that. Fantastic. Congratulations, Mahodaya. Yes. Yeah. So that was probably the nearest that we could express. Okay. Now let's get into where this all leads to. Okay. Now I want to ask you a simple, I'll throw two words in front of you. Tell me what comes to your mind when you hear these two words. One is akshara. Second one is shabda. Okay. Tell me what are the thoughts that come to your mind the moment I say akshara and shabda.
Akshara is letters. You feel that we are referring to letters.
We are referring to letters. That's what we get a feel of. Okay.
Shabda is a group of letters.
Is a group of letters. That's what you understand. Oh, Fran Mahodaya wanted to say something.
I thought that both of them refer to sound, actually. Like, because akshara, I probably tend to think that it's a written letter, but it's actually first, it was sound. And shabda, right, as Sushila said, it's also like a word, so a sounds unified with meaning.
Okay. Sound is a set of akshara. Basically, what you both are saying is akshara is a sound, is also some sort of a sound, and shabda is some sort of a combination of sounds. Is that what you're saying? Okay, we'll take that as one part. Okay,
Can
next.
I also say?
Yes, please.
Yeah. What I feel is akshara is alphabet, letters that are dormant, meaning they don't have anything. They are in a silent state. Shabda is something in an expressive state, and it means sound for me. There's an expression along with that. That's my feeling.
Uttama. Bhavati yogini asti. We'll come back to that definition in a minute. Hold on. Okay. Who else wants to go? Any comments? Who has not spoken? Ashwini.
Shabda.
Akshar. Fran Mahodaya will just come back to you. Who was speaking? Sorry. Somebody was speaking. Today, Ashwini Mahodaya has not spoken. Okay.
Akshara is some sound And Shabda is like some meaningful, anything meaningful.
Meaningful, anything meaningful. Okay. Okay. Nagaprabha Mahodaya. Yes, you had to say something.
Shabda is a vibration. Is a vibration in the air that we any the sound.
Vibration. Okay. Taranga. Okay.
And
Wait.
Akshara. Akshara is what that. Akshara is how we express that sound.
How we express that sound. Okay. Very deep.
Happens in our that which comes in our brain. Means that sound, how we want to express that, which will start from our brain.
Very good. Thank you. We'll stand on to yours and this one and come back to these definitions. Okay. Anybody who else? Jaya Balambika Mahodaya. You want to add something?
Actually, what comes to my mind is Akshara is like alphabets and Shabda is sounds. That came to my mind the first time.
Shabda is sound. Okay. Same thing. What people have already said. Yes, Gauri Mahodaya.
Sound is basically what all we hear. Basically what you played, and Akshara is what we produced, according to, the sound, we wrote something, right? We produced something from that. We gave meaning to that. That is Akshara.
So what you're saying is from Shabda, you come to Akshara.
Yes.
Something like that. Okay. Okay. Very good. Thank you. I hope this has been some sort of a stimulating discussion so far. So basically we are confused between Akshara and Shabda. Correct? We want to define them properly. So for this, what we should do is we should go. I did a little bit of digging. And I'll just share what I dug up. Let us do a very simple thing. Wait, where is Sansadini? Akshara. Okay. Sansadini. Yeah, here. So what I did was, I did a simple thing. Akshara is something that was there. Everybody can see the screen? Yeah. So I went to this University of Amba Kulkarni's page, Sanskrit, that Hyderabad University Sanskrit page. And I put this word Akshara, Aksharaha. Okay. Then it gave me two words, Kshar and Akshar, Akshara. It's a Pullinga, Ekavachana and all that. Okay. Everybody can see this screen? Not yet, I think, no? I'll need to reshare the screen. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, let me share the screen. Yeah, people can see it? Aksharaha, Aksharaha. It gives me the Vibhakti, this one, right? Now, what I'm going to do is, it will also give me what the meaning is. I'll go here and I will go to what is called Amara Kosha. Amara Kosha is the book of synonyms. Let's, for the simplest way of understanding. What is Akshara? I'm not sure if all of you, this is very small, no? For everybody to read. So I'll read out for all of you. And tell me how many of you believe this is Akshara. It says Mukti, Kaivalya, Nirvana, Shreyas, Nishreyas, Amrita, Moksha, Apavarga. These are the synonyms that I get for the word Akshara. Does this anywhere come close to the word, close to the definitions that all of you gave me just now? What is Akshara?
No.
Nowhere close?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Great. Which reduces, or Akshara means which does not reduce or does not die.
Exactly. Now you are able to decipher it from the word moksha, mukti, etc. You are able to decipher. Right? Yes, that's exactly what it is. And that's why akshara is not equal to an alphabet. The point is, akshara is exactly the opposite of kshara. What is kshara? That which nashyati, yah ksharati. One which gets destroyed, one which is not permanent, is kshara. The opposite of that is akshara. Yaha na nashyati, yaha na vinashyati, sada bhavishyati. Okay, that is what is akshara, which can never be destroyed, which is omnipresent. Okay, so that omnipresence is called akshara. That's why we have what is called, if a lot of you will know Bhagavad Gita, Akshara Brahma Yoga. Have you all heard of this? Aksharanam Akarosmi. Krishna says in 10th chapter.
Gita chapter 8 is Akshara Brahma Yoga.
Akshara Brahma Yoga. Yes, there is Akshara Brahma Yoga. So, Akshara is something that will never get destroyed. That is the key. This one. Okay, one minute. Let me now share my screen again. Okay. So, the first definition of Akshara is Yaha Naksharati Vyaktaya Sadhanam. It is a sadhana to express ourselves, which is infinite. Akshara are infinite. First thing. Okay. I'll just hold on your thoughts. I know that all of you have a thought on, what is this Varnamala, how is I, U, Ru, and all those things coming, and why is that? There's a lot of confusion, but hold on to that. By the end of this slide, we'll be clear about those things. All right. Okay. This is a sadhana to express ourselves in some ways. Express not just ourselves, express. Let's keep it that way. For the entire cosmos. Okay. So, Amara Koshe Paryaya Vachyaha. We just saw this. Mukti, Kaivalya, Nirvana, Shreyas, Nishreyas, Amrita, Moksha, Apavarga. These are the various, this one for the definition of Akshara. Okay. Now, let's come to the word Shabda. Okay. How many of you have heard of Para Pashyati Madhyama Vaikari? Para Pashyati Madhyama Vaikari Namaha.
Types of speech, sir.
Types of speech. Can you elaborate what is meant by types of speech?
Like Vaikari is what is spoken. Like we are talking, that is Vaikari speech. The other ones are the higher ones. So I think the highest one is the para, which is like, I think that is at the level of thought, like something I can't exactly explain, but basically it's not expressed as speech. It is more at an intellectual level.
More at an intellectual level. Okay, thank you.
And Madhyama is somewhere in the middle. Specifically, I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. Vaikari is something that you speak. That you are very clear.
That is sure.
That is very sure. Okay, very good. Nilima Mohdaya. Okay. 1 minute. I'll take some comments from Nilima Mohdaya and come back to Chitra Mohdaya.
Shabda is pramanam. Can we say Shabda pramanam?
Shabda pramanam. We'll come to the Shabda pramanam in a minute. Hold on. Shabda pramanam and all is a little too far off. We are raising us ahead of things. But Nilima Mohdaya, you have to say something.
About the
Akshara, Shabda, anything, whatever you think. You muted yourself.
Sorry. You want me to talk about the Akshara?
Akshara or Shabda, both of them. Anything.
To my mind, I feel Akshara is a combination of the word and the swar. So
you have muted yourself again.
Sorry, there's some.
That's okay. I got the message. You are saying combination of swara and vyanjana. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll keep it to that. Okay. Now let's go back to this.
Shall I try to say about
yes.
the 4 types?
Yes, please.
So, my understanding is Vaikari is what we are expressing in our Vyavaharika world, basically, verbally. And
correct.
Madhyama is from the intellectual level, basically. And Pashyanti is deep in the subtle states of our consciousness. And Para is something eternal, like from God, basically.
Correct. Thank you. Absolutely clear definition here. That is right. Levels of Vani, and that also is right. Shobha Mahade, you're absolutely right about it. So we start with Para. That is the infinite level of Aksharaha, which is never destructible. We have an infinite storage of Akshara. Okay. Then comes Pashyanti. As Shobha Mahade just said, it's the subtle form of somewhere, something, some disturbance. The initiation of a disturbance. Okay. That happens due to various reasons. I'll not get into all those reasons. Even if you study Vedanta, you'll get all those things, vasanas and all those things, karma, vasana and all that. There's a disturbance. That disturbance leads to what are called thoughts. These thoughts are what manifest as Madhyama. Correct? There are a lot of thoughts. Our mind is in a state of complete chatter 24/7. True? Unless we are in Sushupti, of course. That is probably 2 to 3 hours a day. Apart from that, mind is completely chattering. Chattering to the extent that, we, without our hands, without our legs, without anything, we are able to manufacture aeroplanes, we are able to manufacture forests, lions chasing us, coming all the way, falling in front of a cow, going to a temple, arguing with someone, right? And all that is very, very much possible. It is not that we have not experienced this. Why is it true? Because the moment you wake up from a dream, you are actually still in that experience. If you are being chased by a lion or a tiger and if you are sweating, the moment you wake up, you feel sweat on your forehead. Right? Or if you are afraid, that fear is still there. Only then you realize, it takes you a second to just go back and say, there was something that was different. That is a dream state. In a wakeful state also, it's in a complete chatter, and it goes on. I can have a full flow of thoughts that is going on. That is the Madhyama. When you express these thoughts, okay, this is expressed in multiple ways. One is through the vocal cord. That is the Vaikari. Okay. Now, if you suppress Vaikari and if you just keep it, the face gives its own ways of getting it expressed in different ways. Correct? That is the Vaikari. Now, with this background, let us understand the connection between Akshara and Shabda and how Akshara becomes Shabda and what happens from there. Okay. And we'll see we'll just see that. Any questions so far? Questions. Let's go here. Okay. Okay. Akashyabhutasya tanmatra is Shabda. Somebody said Shabda.
No sound, Mahodaya.
Mahodaya, are you there?
Yes, power, the power went, it looks.
Oh.
Yes, there's no light.
Okay. Shamita, I had a small power challenge. So you'll have to bear with me. I'm going to keep my video off just to save some save bandwidth. I hope that is okay. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is switch to a gallery view. Okay. So where were we? We were in Shabda. Okay. So
Can't hear
Mahodaya, it's completely breaking. We can't hear anything.
One which is expressed in space. As simple. I hope it is audible now.
No, not much, not very clear.
Is it audible?
Yes, yes.
Now it is audible?
Yes, Mahodaya.
Yes, yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, good. Okay. So, Akasha Bhutasya Tanmatra. Anybody who is aware of Tanmatra?
I believe it's like a building block of everything, all of creation. It's like one of the small particles, something like that.
It's not exactly that. It is basically the
Pancha, the 5 elements.
Agni, those 5 elements.
Yes, expressive form of those 5 elements are through the Tanmatra. Expression of Akasha comes in the form of Shabda. Expression of Vayu. Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. That's how it comes. Okay. Sparsha is Vayu. Not get there. Now the point about Shabda, this should be translated into any form of waves. Whether elastic or electromagnetic, whatever form of wave. Okay. Now, if you transform that into any form of wave, what it becomes is, as we understand, if there is no space, no wave can transition or move around. In a black hole, you are not going to find any waves, anything. The densest of the dense matters, right? Only if there is space available would you see any form of wave motion, right? That is the first form of Shabda. That is the first property of a Shabda. Then, that's why it is called, as we said, Akshara is what is Yah Naksharati, which is always present. So there are enough Aksharas in the world. I'm sure all of us have heard of some term called Bija Aksharaha. Right? The origins of those Aksharas in some sense. Okay? So Vyakta Swarupa of these Aksharas are what comes out as Shabda. In some sense, if I were to say, then if I were to make it a Vyakta Swarupa, then it becomes from Aksharaha, which is a Pullinga form, it becomes Aksharam. Aksharam, which is a Napunsakalinga form, that's why it becomes Aksharani. Aksharam, Akshare, Aksharani. Okay, that is what we understand, we come down as Varnamala. Varna is nothing but, in Sanskrit, Varna, anybody knows what Varna crudely translates to? What is Varna?
Color.
Color.
Color. Absolutely, right, Franmodya and Jaitamodya, right? Colors. So, Varna means Bheda, different parts of something, different ways something is seen. So, simple thing, if I see a white light, I know that it is made of 7 colors. Correct? It has some seven different colors. It is there. 7 prabhedaha santi tasya. Similarly, Varnamala, different ways of aksharas are there. Okay? This is what is Varna. In English, if I were to call what is a Varna, it would be called a syllable. Have you heard of the term syllable? That is what is a Shabda. Okay? Okay. Now, I said, something I said should have struck you. There are infinite aksharas, correct? I said there are infinite, it's always there, omnipresent, this, that. I give you a lot of gyan on all those things. Now the question that comes, at least to my mind, the moment I saw that was very simple. That, why are there only 48 aksharani then? What is the meaning of 48 aksharani? Why are there 48 of them? What is the whole meaning of these 48? There are 48. Do we all agree there are 48 aksharas in Sanskritam?
I have seen this.
If they are infinite, why don't I see those infinite?
Anything para is it's not visible.
Anything para is not visible. That is true. So that is okay. 48. Why not 58? Why not 100? Why not 26 like English?
Basically, possibly it is just the basic sound, and after that you have to, with the addition of a combination of few words, few syllables, you can make as many sounds as possible.
Is that true? We just saw that cling, cling. Somebody said cling, cling, cling. Somebody said cling, 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 cling. It went on, no? Yes. Those are all from this definition. Those are also from Akshara only, somewhere from the Akshara. Right? Which means that definition should not hold true. That means there's a challenge. How do we reconcile them? The answer lies in a very, very simple, fundamental fact that we need to, to understand. The human body has a limitation. We very fast. First thing, the vocal cord can produce only sounds less than 13 kilohertz or 13,000 hertz. The human ear can only hear between 20 hertz and kilohertz. This is our limitation. So even though para is infinite, there are infinite aksharaha. The expressive form in some sense. Okay. This should bring us to the very fundamental question: why we cannot understand, let's say, a cat mewing or a bird chirping? They are either producing sounds. Yes, Madhya, what are you saying?
It must be possibly lower than the 20 hertz, which we can't hear, like
higher than 20 kilohertz.
Blooming of a flower or something. We can't hear the sound.
Yeah, blooming of a flower is definitely lower. But say, let's say, birds chirping. What we hear is only in this range. They are producing probably outside of this range.
Yes.
Yes, Parvati Madhya.
There are some mimicry artists who can reproduce all these sounds.
Sorry?
There are mimicry artists who can reproduce the sounds of animals.
That is correct. They reproduce the sound, but can they interpret the sound?
No, except in stories. Yeah.
Yes.
In fairy tales, you can understand
correct.
animals. Yeah.
Correct. That's exactly where I was coming to. I'll give a simple example. For instance, hen. The hens can actually produce up to 70 kilohertz. Okay. Dolphins, whales, usually in 100 kilohertz, 150 kilohertz. We know for sure that dolphins and whales transmit waves in to about 5,000 kilometer ranges. They can communicate through ultrasonic sound in that range. It's not audible to us is a different story. To the human ear, it's not audible, but they can communicate. There are ways of doing it. So essentially, the point that we should remember is the communication is happening between these animals or anything is not something we are understanding simply because of this reason. Right? Okay. My should be visible now. Yeah. Now I should be better audible. Right? Okay. So now that becomes our challenge. And that is where our limitation comes. And that is where, and yeah, actually the stories, what you hear about the Treta Yuga stories or these Panchatantra or anywhere where they were talking and all. See, we should also remember Darwin's theory. Now, it is evolution, devolution is a different story, but the theory stands true. Whatever is not any species will evolve to adapt. That's a simple theory, and that's a fact. That is not something that can be disputed. And what is not of much use is going to get discarded or not be used. Simple thing, the tail became appendix and so on and so forth. It's not of much use, right? Similarly, if you are able to do something, then over time, if you have been interacting only with human beings, your audible range has come down. Which means that this is where we stand. Right? And another way of understanding this whole phenomenon. Anytime you are anywhere you are around, if you can just sit in just solitude and concentrate your mind or calm your mind down, right? And just pay attention to everything that is going on around you. Nothing more. And without judging, without any judgment, without the mind again getting, oh, that person is doing this, so he's cooking, so this is the sweet smell. No such thoughts. Just observing. There's a difference between observing and getting involved. Okay. So Mundaka Upanishad has a very beautiful Dvau Suparno Parishasva Jate, and that this one. Shobha Mahodaya might remember it better. So yeah. Two birds. One is sitting and just observing. One is eating all the fruits on the tree. It's a very good allegory to what happens. If you can go to a state where we are just observing, what you will observe is throughout the day, if you do this exercise, let's say at 9 a.m., 12 a.m., 6 p.m., and again at 4 a.m. and something like that, you will be able to sense a lot of different things. The simple thing with ears, you may not be able to interpret what is going on, but the kind of sounds that you will hear are going to be very, very different at different times. Okay? You may be able to interpret, you may not be able to interpret based on what our constitution, what our vasanas, whatever our thoughts have been, whatever we have been blanketed with, right? So this is where the limitation comes. This is the difference between Shabda and Akshara. Akshara transforming itself into Aksharam, or that form of A, A, I, I, these become Aksharam in the form of Shabda. Okay. What our Rishi Munis and all did was they contemplated a lot and then came up with, and then they realized that there were 31 points in the human facial system from where sounds can actually originate. Prominent of them are these. I showed this in the last class as well. Let me repeat it for now. These are the These are the prominent points from where sounds originate and can be expressed. This is the Vaikhari part. This is not the Parapashanti Madhyama part. This is the Vaikhari part. One is the Kantha. Two is the Taluka. Second one. Okay. Third one is Murdani. Fourth one is Danta. Fifth one is Oshta. 5 very important parts and a combination of these 5 in some sense. Okay. So, from the Kantha, the A, Kavarga and Ha, that is what comes about. Okay. These are pure. This is Kantha. Purely from Kantha. If I say A, Ka, Ka, Ga, Ga, Ka, Ka, Ga, Ga, we'll come to Na in a minute. Okay. Or they come from the Kantha. Ha. All these originate in the Kantha. Okay. Then you have the Taluka, Talavya, Taluka. From the Taluka is Taluk is Talavya. E, Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, Ya, Sha. If you observe and if you pay a little more attention, you'll observe that it is coming from the upper part of your throat. There is that small tongue which is hanging from this one. From that is where it originates. That is what is Talu. Okay. Then R, Ta, Ta, Da, Da, Sha. This cannot happen if your tongue does not touch the upper part of your. It does not point towards the Murdani or this part. Ta, Ta, Da, Da. Try pronouncing it without that. It is impossible. Okay. Then there is Tavarga. If the airflow is not stopped by your teeth, Ta, Tha, Da, Dha cannot be pronounced. It has to be stopped. That is how the Tavarga comes. Then the Pavarga and U comes from the labial, this one, lip movement. If there is no lip movement, there is no way you will pronounce Pavarga. In fact, there is a beautiful Natka by Bhasa where at some point the lip gets cut because of the war or something. After that, he has not given a single dialogue from that character with a Pavarga. That is the kind of depth that we have gone into. Pa, pa, ba, ba. If you have to say Padmini, the lip has to move. Simple. Then there are some, and then there is Nasika. What happens in Nasika is simple. It's a combination of one of these 5 and the airflow through the nose. Nga, nya, na, ma. If you have this system fully cleaned out, any of these pronunciation should be very, very simple. Okay. Then Ra and La, they have a Danta plus they have a Mula. Ra and La. It has a Murni, it has to go up again. Ra, La. It is a combination of two there. Okay. Then A and I come from the Kantha and the Taluka. A and I. It's a combination of Upakantha and Kantha there. Okay. Similarly, O, Au, Am. Oshta, that is labial movement plus Kantha. Then Vakara comes from Danta and Oshta. Va. You should have both your teeth as well as your lips to pronounce that. Okay. So this is a very, very important way. If we can master this, none of the pronunciations will ever go wrong. Okay. So this is one of the ways of, this is what has been discovered and come up with so far. Okay. This is, of course, this is the past 2,000, 3,000 years. By then, all the quote unquote Darwin's theory had applied, and that's what we are following even now. So this is what we are able to do. Okay. So now let's, with this background of Shabda and the way aksharas get expressed as aksharam, let us say what are the aksharani. Okay. So yeah, anyone who wants to read this?
Sir, I had a query actually about the previous slide. It's, where you said that the Vyakta form is Shabdaha and Akshara is the eternal. But can you throw a bit more light? What do you mean by that? What does that mean? So it is Avyakta, but how or what? I mean, what is that basically?
Okay. So, so when I say Avyakta, let me not put it as Avyakta. Let me say it is infinite. There are many aksharas. Does that make sense? Okay.
Not really, because
not
does
really.
That mean
okay.
Because all the aksharas are together in a mass? Is that what you mean?
There is no box. Maybe. There is no box. It's spread all over. There is no space at all. It's fully all over the place. Okay. So a simple example. We said cree, crowing, and all these things. Right? There's only one part of what we were able to grasp. Now there is beyond this cree, crowing, which they are expressing to their own peer group or their own fellow species, which is probably a different form of akshara altogether, which is outside the realm of these whole aksharani that we know. We don't know, as simple as that. And it is better to accept there's a limitation in us than saying, there is nothing beyond this. That's what we should just conclude out of this. So there are many more things beyond. As I said, there are many animals which can produce sound waves at 100 kilohertz. Why so much? At some point, we have all seen an ultrasonic machine, correct? What's an ultrasonic machine doing? All that it is doing is producing some sound wave beyond 20 kilohertz. It's a sound wave only. It's nothing else. Are we able to hear that? There is some akshara which is beyond this, which is expressing itself there. Can you put it that way? That is all what is happening. So there are many, many sounds like this, which we are not able to grasp. It's a limitation of our ears. And as I said, if you wake up at say in the Brahmi Murta at 4 a.m., when there is no external noise, right? There is no artificially generated noise, probably a bird chirping here and there, but nothing beyond that. And this holds. This is something like, Fran Modia comes from Santiago. So I'm sure it is dark even at that time. It is not like it is not very light there as well. Yeah, if you go to something like England, there in summers you have a very big problem. Sun rises at 4 in the morning, and then it's all, there's something totally different happening. But at the Brahmi Murta, if you wake up and just sit and just concentrate on this, on what is happening, your ears will sense certain things. You may not be able to grasp it. You may not be able to hear it. You may not be able to understand what it is. But you will definitely understand that your eardrums are vibrating in some sense. That is if you concentrate. Correct? Shobha Mohdey, you have anything to add?
No.
Okay. Somebody raised their hand. Okay. Yeah. Parvati Mohdey raised her hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just to recap, that because of our limitations, we have 48. We hear only these 48 sounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that explains also when some houses I've seen, they say there's a dog fence and you don't see anything. It's just a sound thing.
Yes.
So the dogs stop and don't go beyond that because it scares them, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
All absolutely right. All our sensory organs have limitations.
Yeah, that's
right. Very simple. Even our eyes have limitations. We can only see from, say, what is that? I forget that. 20 Armstrong, 2000 Armstrong to 6000 something. That white Vibgyor range. Okay, whatever that is. Now there is ultraviolet, there is infrared. Right. Similarly, nose. Even before I go to nose, hens can see 50. They have their retina is so strong that they can see in the infrared range. Okay, dogs can have a very good sense of smell. So there is a limitation in us in these sense. We should know in our sense organ. I'm not telling about the intellectual capacity. I'm not talking of intelligence. I'm not talking of our manas. No. That is not where I'm going at all. Those are very strong faculties in us, which are much more evolved than these animals. But in terms of our sensory organs, it is limited. Let's understand that. And that is where all our Vedantic sense says, you should always have a control over your senses. You'll never be able to compete with any other animal in your sense organs. If you try to beat a dog in terms of eating, sorry, you're going to lose miserably. There is no way you'll ever be able to beat it. So, with that limitation, what we have done with our intelligence, this is where the intelligence component comes in. As I showed in the previous this is where the intelligence component comes in. They understood there is a limitation. What is the best we can do with this is what is showcased here. Okay. Now there are Rishi Munis who have evolved beyond their sense organs and reached the Vedas are from that sense. The Bijaksharas come from there, who can sense a lot of things differently. Now that is a state of evolution. That's a state of I wouldn't say, okay, I said evolution is something. They've gone to a higher state. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Anyone who wants to do this? Yes, we'll start with Fran Mohdaya this time. You want to read this?
Sure. A, I, u, r, l, e, I, o, ow.
Very good. Thank you. Now, do you also want to explain why you read them? What is the reason you gave the second line a different way and the first line a different way?
Oh, I just thought it was easier for me to read the Hrasva and Tirga all together.
Correct. So usually we go left to right and then top to bottom, right? Why didn't you read I, E, U, R, R, A, E, U, R, R, A, I, O, ow? You would have done that, no?
Yes, but I think it's because of the same reason that we are discussing now. In the Spanish inventory, we do not have murta sounds, for example. So the r, l, are very hard for me. So I have to think about them a lot.
No, that's not the question. That's okay. That part is completely understandable. That's not what I'm asking. Why didn't you read A, E, U, R, first line? Second, A, E, U, R, A, I, O. You read A, E, U, R. Yeah, that is the question.
Mm-hmm. I just thought it was easier, and probably because I have memorized it.
Exactly. Preconditioning.
Yes.
Right? We are all preconditioned to certain things. That is one of the ways. Anybody would have done exactly the same thing what you did. Everybody would have read it exactly the same way. It is not any different. I don't think anybody would have read it as A, I, U, R, R, A, I, U, R, R, even though I put it in that form. Right? So I want to explain a few things here. All these are Rasva. All these are Dirgha. Then last time I also spoke about what is Pluta. Somebody asked, what is Pluta and what do we do with it? Eka matro bhavet rasvaha, dvimatro dirgha uchyate, trimatrastu Pluto geyaha, vyanjanam vyanjanam tu ardhamatrakam. This has to be split as 2 and ardhamatrakam. Why 2 and ardhamatrakam? We'll see sometime. Okay. This is how it is to be done. If I were to say Rasva, and that's the reason why I put Rasva here first, and then I put Dirgha here. Okay. So Rasva is to be pronounced as A, I. That is whatever is your limitation, whatever you call as one matra. One matra is it's a connotation for sound. It's a connotation for time, basically. How long do you pronounce it? Matra. Shiksha vyakhya syamaha varnasvaraha matra balam samasantanaha ityukta shiksha dhyayaha. This is what comes in Taittiriya Upanishad. Varnasvaraha matra balam. Varnasvara matra balam. These are the 3 components of it. So, A, I, U, R, R. If that is one matra, double of that should be A, I, U, R, R, A, I, O, Au. Okay. Pluta. That is for Rasva only. Is for this Dirgha. Okay. So if I were to do this, I will just come to this Vyanjana in a minute. Hold on. These 3 we have covered. So this is what it comes. Ta plus E. This is Ardhamatra. I'll just come to that. T. Okay. Then T is Pluta. So I gave this example last time. Seedha. Seedha jaye. Seedha jaye. Seedha jaye. Very common. For all of us in India, at least, we are very conversant with this stuff. So I'll just explain to Fran Modaya what this means. Is, if you ask on the street, how do I get to a place? And if it's just some distance far away, he or she will express it in one of the 3 ways, Seedha jao. Seedha. That is, there is straight. Seedha is straight. Go straight. That's where it's. If it says Seedha jao, that means you have to go a little longer. Seedha jao. That means you have to go a really long distance. Okay. So these are expressive. These are cultural connotations and which is very much imbibed in the language. And this is very important because culturally, a language originates from a culture. Culture does not originate from a language. Sorry. And as Fran Mahodaya just said, Spanish also comes from a different culture where you don't need the Mahaprana things at all. Much. Right. Yes, Chitra Mahodaya.
Mahodaya, Nietzsche, that down it is there, Taittiriya, that is what is spelling Taittiriya Upanishad, something it is mentioned.
Yeah.
So actually, Taittiriya Upanishad I studied. That's the reason I'm asking that.
It is the same. It is the same. It is the Taittiri. That Tri and Re are interchangeably used for it. Taittiriya, this one.
Both we can use.
It is not Aittireya. It is Taittiriya only.
Okay.
Taittiriya only. Kaschana gacchati. Okay. That's how it is. It's a very Vedic, it's a Vedic this one. Okay, who has not spoken today?
I had a question. You said that so different cultures give rise to different sounds that are predominant in that.
Not sounds, language. Not sounds.
Well, even like my children, they are educated in the English system, and so the Mahapranas are not existent here. Literally, the dha, the gha, the kha. So correct. I am trying to teach them, and all Indian languages which are all descended from Sanskrit anyway, like Bengali is. So the Mahapranas exist. So this is like they have to put in special effort when they are learning Bengali with me. So
especially, I am sure.
It is extremely doesn't come naturally. So correct. I just wanted to know, do you know what is the reason that Western languages don't have these Mahapranas and ours have Mahaprana these Vyanjanas?
It is not Western languages don't have it. It is not true. Okay. We need to understand. German has a lot of Mahaprana, for instance. Okay. French is soft. They don't have it too much. I'll give the reason, simple reason. See, the English that we all speak, how much time? Yeah, we have some more time here. Okay, the English that we speak is mainly we have adapted, at least our generation has all come from the British because of the colonialization effort. Okay, today's generation, and not from your perspective because you're in England, but others learning English are all learning it the American way, at least in India today. They have an Americanized way of English. So that culture has a lot of influence on the English. Okay. There is also an Indian form of English, by the way. Yeah. H. High is going there. Horse is going there kind of English. It exists. It is not wrong. Okay. Now, the thing with English is we have a British version of English, which is a British, which was Yiddish earlier. Their culture has had a lot of influence on that language, and we get in that. But why does English not have the Mahaprana and other these? For that, you have to go to its real origin, which is not in Britain at all, which is in Rome, Latin.
Latin.
English comes from Latin. Now, the Latin culture, the Roman history, if you have read the Roman history, the way Latin has evolved since the past, they have about 3,000 years of history. Before that, pre-Caesar, those times, at least if we can discard for now, it's not much because the Greeks were more dominant at that point in time. The Latin has been borrowed a lot from Greek, but imbibed their culture very differently. Okay. Now, the concept of Latin was conquering. Of course, post-Alexander, all this was very strong. So the Romans came up with a very physically strong background, where expressing it through words could be very soft, but they could mean very strong things. And that happens throughout in all the Latin literature, if you read. Whether it is Macbeth, even in Shakespearean literature, if you read Macbeth or Julius Caesar or any of these, which have a lot of origins in Roman time, in Roman this one, you will see all the dialogues, everything are very, very soft. But if you look at the real meaning, they're either conniving or expressing very strong sense of things coming out very differently. The same thing is very different in the American sense today. Their Mahaprana does not become very difficult for them. They are very expressive. They're straightforward, cut right, which is very different from the British way of expressing things. And that has its origins in Latin. Now, Spanish is different. It has a very different reason. They've always been protected. They never had to do a lot of these kind of things. Okay. Indian languages are extremely expressive for exactly this reason. There are various sounds, as I showed last week also, Panini just made a compilation of whatever was the language existing at that time. He did not invent the language, by the way. Okay, people were expressing. All forms of expression were very strong. Whether it was through violent forms, non-violent forms, subtle forms, the Triguna, tamasika, rajasika as well as satvika gunas were very, very prevalent. Whereas if you go to other parts, they were very, very differently there. The ratios were very different. That creates has a lot of impact on language. German is a good example. It has a lot of Mahaprana, for instance. Okay. So if you want to learn that, yeah, you'll have to do a bit more thing on history of Gauls and then Germania, and of course Aztecs and Obelix is a good example to do it with. So you can do that. Gaulish culture is very, very different because there it is very soft, because the Gauls always believed we are people who don't know what is fear. That's how they lived. Until the Romans conquered them, there was nobody who was conquering them. Vercingetorix, if you know this one, that is a good story to know. Okay. So that is where it stands. Okay. Shobha Mahodaya, any questions, anything? Nisha Mahodaya and Shobha Mahodaya have not spoken much today.
No questions.
Anything you want to add?
No. Nothing.
Okay. Okay. Saumya Mahodaya? No?
No.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask you some question then. Okay. Let us see. What do we have next? We'll do this. Okay. We'll finish yes, we'll finish this Vyanjana and this one. We can do something later. Okay. Where is it? Okay. 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 In this, I have one question. Okay, this will answer. Saumya Mahodaya will answer this question. Okay. I stop with a, I, o, r, a, I, o. Okay. But is this all? Do we have anything after this? What do we have after this? Yes, Saumya Mahodaya. Am and aha. Very good. So where is am and aha in this? Why is it not there?
Aha, am is a bindu and aha is visarga.
Okay, so okay.
They might be separated from this swaras.
Correct. They are separated from this swara. And why are they separated? They are called ayogavahau. They do not have an independent existence, but they are hanging somewhere. Okay. This is anuswara, your bindu, what you said. It becomes am. What does u plus this anuswara become? Can you read this?
Am, im, rum, im, om, au.
This is aim. In this, there is no aim. Aim. Okay. In this one. I. So aim. Right. You are right. Now, next exercise. Now, visarga is this. Now read this.
Aha, ihi, uhu, ruhu, ruhu, ehe, oho, au.
Auhu. So the thing is, it takes the specifications of this aha, it does not become iha, it becomes ihi, uhu, rah, ehe. It is not eha or ehi, it is ehe, aihi, oho, auhu. They are explicitly ayogavaha. Two of them, so ayogavaha. There is no third one, so ayogavaha two. Okay. So this is what is very important. Yeah, I spoke about this. I don't want to drag a little more on this. This is Srasva Dirgha Pluta, Udatta, Anudatta, Swarita. These are the three tonal. This one, E. Swarita will be E. Udatta. E. Anudatta. E. Okay. Now, I can pronounce E as is, or I can say E, U, R, R, A, I. I'm not saying im. I'm not saying I'm saying E, U, Ru. I'm pronouncing it to the nasal form. That is what is called anunasika. Then the normal one is anunasika. So if you combine this 3 into 3 into 2, it becomes 18. 9 times 18. This is the 3, this one. Okay. Okay, that is Rakara. That is okay. Now this. If you go back here, we had left out this last part. Vyanjanam tu ardha matrakam. Correct? What does this mean? Half a matra. If a is 1 matra and I said a is 2 matras, half of a should be the matra for Vyanjana. So which means if I were to have ka, I can't say ka. I should say k, g, ng. When I combine it with akara is when it becomes ka, kha, ga, gha, ng. If I combine it with ikara, it should become ki, gi, gi. If I combine it with ukara, it should become ku, khu, gu, gu. Correct? Otherwise, it should be with a halat. K, kha, g, g, g. That's all. Ch, j, j. That's why I don't like to pronounce it half a matra. I would rather say kakara, khakara, gakara, ghakara. Okay? That is how it is to be pronounced. Now, these are all alpa prana. We all understand what is alpa prana, no? So far we have had a long discussion on Jayati Mahodaya just asked why no Mahaprana and all that. What is Mahaprana? Where you force it, yeah. Yes, Ran Mahodaya.
When you need more aspiration, more air.
Yes, more forcefully. The air coming out should be more forceful. Right. You want to pronounce this? Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga.
Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga.
Correct. That is how it should be coming out. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. Ta, tha, da, da, na. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. Pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. Of this, ka, cha, ta, ta, pa, ga, ja, da, da, ba. And ya, ra, la, va are what are called alpa prana. Okay. Then these are mahaprana. Ka, cha, ta, tha, pha, gha, jha, dha, dha, bha. Okay. Of course, sha, sha, sa, ha are also mahaprana. Of course, they are called ushmana for a different reason. These are anunasika. Ga, nya, na, na, ma. Okay. So this is what our Vyanjana is. Okay. Now, do we have any more time left? How much time do we have left? We are almost 8:30. Okay. So we'll have to do the Abhyasa next week. Sure. Okay. Okay. We'll do the Abhyasa next week. No problems. That's right. I want to do just one. Can we spare 1 more minute if it's okay with everyone? Okay. I'll just do 1 minute. I'll tell what I want to do and then we can take for today. Okay. Now, okay. Now, I want to split this word. How would I split it? Anybody wants to try this? Shankaraha. How should I split this? Anybody can go. Nagaprabha Mahodaya. Fast.
Shall I try?
Yeah, please try. Yeah.
Sh plus a.
Sh plus a.
Then the dot above will be the ñ.
I'll just put this as okay. Then
K plus a.
Plus a.
K plus aha.
R plus aha. Correct. This is how it is. Okay. We'll do some exercise and then see how splitting what is sandhi in the next class. All right. Okay. For now, what I'll do, I'll just save this and I am going to share this. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Anything that you want to discuss? Oh, Nisha Modaya has also not spoken today. Okay. Nisha Modaya, any questions?
No, sir, no. I have spoken in the team many times, but yes, no questions.
Okay, fine. All right. Astu. Any other question? Yes, Pran Modaya, yes. You can ask.
I have heard that in Vyakaranam, Akshara is also considered syllable. Is that correct?
Akshara and syllable are synonymous. Yeah, we'll discuss this more. Yes, syllable. Yes, that's what. Aksharam. When Akshara transforms to Aksharam, that is what becomes a syllable. Shabda. Shabda is a syllable. Now, for instance, K will not be a syllable. Kwa, for instance, is a syllable, even though it is a Sayukta Akshara. We'll discuss this more in detail in the next class. And we'll discuss this how the reason we need to know this is there is a reason why we need to know all this, because we are going to get into what are called sandhis. Right? So we'll see how these manifest into combinations and what happens when they combine, what are the different forms and shapes they can take, what happens, etc., etc. We'll take it up. Any other questions, anything? Yeah, you can always ping me. You can ping on the group or anything. That can be done. Another thing that I want to request of all of you is someone please take lead on this. The official Lataa group is there on YouTube, which is okay, which is good. If you want to create a group for this class to discuss questions and something related to the class, somebody please take a lead and form a group. Okay, that'll be all informal discussions. Add me to it. We can all have a lot of chat and things. There it can become a little noisy if we are discussing too many things. All right, we can do that. Another question. Yeah.
Well, I wanted if you would share the PDF also.
I will. Last time also, I hope you got the last time PDF.
You that was on YouTube, not on the WhatsApp or something. Or
no,
mail.
I send it through email only. I don't share it on WhatsApp. It'll be on your email. Okay.
I have received it, sir. Yeah. I received your.
If you're on the group, you will definitely receive it. Yes, Parvati Modaya, you have a question.
No, I just want to check. I have not registered for your class. I'm in the other class.
Okay.
But is it okay if I participate?
Yeah.
Because
please,
I find it. Can I be in 2 classes? Is that okay?
Yeah. I don't have any problems. I made it very clear in the last class itself.
Then I won't hide myself and try.
No, you don't need to. Nobody needs to hide. We are all in the open. Nobody is.
I feel like I'm an interloper. I've just gate crashed.
No. There is no gate crashing. Everybody is welcome. More the merrier.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
This class is more about learning. It is not, as I said in the last class, we are not going to hang the certificate around our necks and showcase it to everyone. So that is going to be a bigger burden if we are going to do that. So this is about learning and we are only here to learn. All right. So please join in.
So I'll participate also then.
Please. You should participate. It's a pleasure to have everyone around. So we'll do it. We are at least in Lataa, we are fungible between classes. Anybody can attend any class, whatever you like, please do it. Okay, we are not going to stop you in doing anything. Okay, there is no fun at all. Okay. And there was another question that came to me. Somebody asked me, everybody is comfortable with this time, 7 p.m. to 8:30 in India time?
Yeah. Yes.
Nobody wants a change or anything, no? Everybody is pretty comfortable.
Yes.
You wanted to move outside beyond anything?
No, sir. Comfortable only, sir.
Absolutely comfortable. 8 to 9:30 is going to be a difficult time, is what I understand.
Yes.
Right? Yes, that is dinner
I
time.
won't be there then.
You won't be there. No, we'll not want to miss. Okay, we'll keep it at 7 to 8:30 then. Astu. Okay, we are all again 6 minutes over short time. Okay. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्रा पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अदनात् सदनात् सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदं पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु Chitra Mode, yes, you can.
So, sir, regarding Pravesha exam,